Hey, let's talk about detaching energetically. When we are in relationship with something, and that's anything, another person, a building, a book, a plant, a piece of clothing, an animal, there's a line of energy that is set up between you and this item or this person that you're attached to. What happens energetically? We're all part of the energy field of the universe, and as we engage with someone, the line between us gets set and it gets strengthened. And so that's why sometimes when you are in a relationship with someone, you feel like they're always in your head, or you feel like suddenly you should call them, or maybe you're in a relationship with someone and you're thinking, oh my God, I got to get out of this, but you don't seem to be able to. Or maybe you say sometimes things like, oh, I should never have opened that email, or man, this person is sucking the life force out of me. How do I get away from this? Well, all of these things are energetically based, and one way you step away from all of these things is by cutting the cords between you and the other person. Another way is by having less cords set up in the first place. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to disentangle yourself, how to disengage. And I'm going to start with a couple of basics. And I'll probably do this in a few videos because I have a lot of techniques for this one. The first thing is to be aware that when you answer the phone and when you open your computer to answer email, or when you're texting, there's an energy transfer going on between you and the person who sent that message, between you and that email, between you and that caller. And when you pick up the phone and say hello, click, you guys are clicked together. When you open that email and see it and it pops out of your screen, wham, you're hooked by that email. So if you think about it that way, it's almost as if the person on the other side is going fishing, and if they hook you, which they often do, or you bite, then you guys are tangled. So a couple of basic tips. One, be careful about opening emails and messages. My father drank, so I learned after a while to never open any email he sent after a certain time of day because it was going to be nasty, and that energy was going to fly out of the computer and smack me, and I could avoid that. So a very simple tip is, if it's someone you don't want to be tangled up with, just don't open the email. Same thing with phone calls. If you see on your caller ID that someone's calling in that you don't feel you have the energy to deal with right at that point in time, don't answer the phone. Just don't answer the phone. So those are a couple of really basic tips. So let's take it to the next stage. If you open that computer and that email comes out and smacks you, or if you pick up that phone because you just feel like you have to talk to that person anyway, how do you detach from that energy when you finish the conversation? Well, it's actually kind of simple. Sounds a little crazy, but it really works. So you hang up that phone, and then you close your eyes. Just take a couple of breaths. That was one. That's two. And that's three. And then you ask yourself, where did that person's energy hook me? And just close your eyes, and you'll get a twinge or a little nudge or a little feeling somewhere in the body. And if you think that that person sent a fishing line right through the ethers to you with a hook on the end, and that hook landed somewhere in your body, what you're going to do is ask, where did that land in my body? Become aware of the little twingy spot, and then ask your body spirit, or get a sense of, what kind of a hook is that just went in? Was that like a fishing hook, or that was a great big grappling hook, or a spear? Get a sense of where that hook went in. And then what you're going to do is you're going to back it out just like it's a fish hook. So say this hook went into this shoulder, and I have a sense that this conversation, the person hooked me right in here. Well, what I want to do now is after I finish the call or the texting or the email, I want to actually take my hand and back that hook right out of my body. The hook is still attached to the energy line to the other person. So I take that hook and I actually will sort of toss it to the side onto the floor. And at that point, I can actually energetically get a sense of that hook flailing around, trying to reattach to me. I know that's bizarre, but that's really what I sense energetically. And then what you do is you just put your hands out for some clean energy from the universe. And you're going to ask the universe to just give you some clean healing energy. You get a little bowl of energy, which you just do by scooping your hands in the air. That gives you a bowl of energy. And you take that bowl of energy and you actually just press it into the place where you just removed the hook. What you're doing is you're patching the hole in your energy field from where that hook went in. So as I'm patching this, where I obviously had a hook, that's where I pulled it out. So as I'm doing this patch, I still have a sense that that hook is flailing around on the floor over there. So we're going to clear that too at some point. But for right now, I'm just cutting the cord. I'm just taking the hook out. I'm just disconnecting from the other person. And I'm letting that person's energy go back to them and my energy stay with me. That's lesson number 1. This is Dina Kennedy from DinaKennedy.com. I'll see you soon for lesson 2 on Let's Get Detached.